Good afternoon, and welcome to the afternoon session of the Landmarks Preservation Commission's public hearing and public meeting for February 10th, 2026. We're resuming with public hearing item number 3, and I'll turn it over to our Director of Preservation, Corey Harala.
Okay, thank you. We'll start with public hearing item number 3, LPC 26-01097, an application for a certificate of appropriateness in the Borough of Manhattan, Block 1211, Lot 137, 106 West 81st Street, in the Upper West Side, Central Park West Historic District. This is a neo-Greek style row house designed by Eli Martin and built in 1885 to 86, and the application is to reconstruct the rear facade and construct rooftop and rear yard additions.
Good afternoon, Commissioners. Richard Lowry, Preservation Staff. I will present the scope of work, and the architect Phoebe Liu and engineer Yipeng Guan will be here to answer any questions. So the proposal is to construct a one-story rooftop addition, reconstruct and widen the rear facade of the full-height rear L addition, and construct a partial infill addition and construct a rear glass house addition. Just a site plan, just showing the location of the site. And the block plan, you see with the red arrow pointing to the subject property, it's a row of 2 encapsulated by a large apartment building on the right and a series of much longer row houses on the left. Just photos of the front facade. There's no proposed work at the front facade before you today. And the photos of the rear facade, just noting the sort of irregular shape of the rear L addition. On the middle photo on the extreme right, there's a sort of full height projecting bay that has been added to the side facade. And then there's an odd-shaped sort of a side yard. Just aerials, just showing the existing house, and then sort of a schematic showing on the left the current footprint and the proposed footprint. For the rooftop addition, just showing some of the contextual photographs of the large apartment blocks and the front facade and the rendering of the rooftop addition. The initial mock-up when we visited was partially visible from Columbus Avenue Cross Street. So they've modified the design, and as you can see, they've sort of cut out the top corner on the right to sort of remove visibility of the rooftop addition. There was some conjecture with the sight lines about the railing on the rooftop addition, and that has subsequently been set back by 20 inches, again, to remove any potential visibility over the front facade. As you see, the rooftop addition is set back from the rear facade, the rear addition, but is incorporated into the infill addition, which we'll talk about further. And general visibility photographs. So you can see from the row of 2, 108 and subject 106 property, the rear L addition, they're looking to rebuild the rear facade of that and expand it. So there's some context of that additional projecting window bay, which runs all 4 stories. They are trying to regularize the fenestration pattern to align with the neighbor 108. It'll also be in the same plane as 108 and to match the cornice line of 108 so that it would run contiguously. A little easier to look at the proposal and the axons, just showing the infill addition of that sort of irregular side courtyard. and then the rooftop addition on top. So even though the infill addition into that side yard, it is set back from the rear facade of the rear addition, so it remains legible. And then in the green is a sort of slightly recessed glass house addition. And just show you some of the contextual photographs of the side and rear yard. And the sort of proposed wall section. So the rear facade will have a sort of full white cladding of brick. And some of the material samples there. Back. And then the revised section just showing the additional setback of the railing. And just to show the glass house, it's a fairly short, stubby yard compared with the others along the streetscape. So it is partially sort of recessed, and although 2 stories, it really is effectively only 1 story with a sort of a sloped roof. Okay, are there any other questions? So the architect and the engineer to answer any.
Thank you. Commissioners, do we have any questions? Okay, let's see if there's anybody in the room who would like to testify on this item. Noting that there isn't, let me turn it over to Elizabeth Lee to see if we have any remote testimony.
Those joining via Zoom who wish to speak, please use the raise hand function. You'll be promoted to panelist, after which we ask you to unmute, state your name for the record, and you'll have 3 minutes to speak. The first speaker will be Megan Fitzpatrick.
Hello, Commissioners. Megan Fitzpatrick speaking on behalf of Landmark West. Our Certificate of Appropriateness Committee believes that while the proposed additions are competently designed, we do not find them particularly inspired. That said, we appreciate the addition is not visible from any public thoroughfare. The rear alteration, although it involves the removal of original material and extends further into the building's donut, is largely inoffensive in its execution. Given its limited visibility and contextual impact, it can reasonably be deemed appropriate. Thank you.
Anyone else who wishes to speak, please use the raise hand function. Seeing none, I'll note for the record that Manhattan Community Board 7 recommends approval.
Thank you. It looks like the comments were mostly favorable. Commissioners, do we have any final questions? Okay, let's go ahead and close the hearing. Commissioner Wilder, would you make a motion to close the hearing?
So moved.
Thank you. Commissioner Kimbe, would you second that motion?
Second.
All in favor, say aye. Aye. Any opposed? Okay, the hearing is closed. Commissioner Ginsburg, would you like to start this discussion?
Yeah. In general, I think this is appropriate and a reasonable solution, and that the applicants should just work with staff on some of the cornice details, et cetera, or at the rear facade parapet cornice details.
Thank you. Commissioner Mahan?
I concur with Commissioner Ginsburg.
Thank you. Commissioner Chen? Commissioner Goldblum?
Great.
Commissioner Jefferson? Commissioner Chu?
Appropriate.
Commissioner Kimbe?
Appropriate.
And Commissioner Wilder?
Appropriate.
Thank you. Commissioner Ginsburg, would you read the motion?
With regards to LPC 26-01-097-106 West 81st Street, Upper West Side / Central Park West Historic District, a neo-Greek style row house designed by Eli Martin and built in 1885-86. Application is to reconstruct the rear facade and construct a rooftop and rear addition. I note that the building style material and details are among the features that contribute to the special architectural and historic character of the Upper West Side Central Park West Historic District. I recommend approval with modifications, finding that the proposed work will not damage or eliminate any significant architecture features, that the proposed rooftop addition will be modest in size and set back from the front facade and rear facade of the full height L, thereby not overwhelming the house and recalling aspects of its original massing. That the proposed rooftop and rear addition will not be visible from public thoroughfare. That the filling in of the recess between the full height L and the adjacent building will seamlessly connect the back of the rooftop addition and will be set back modestly from the rear L, which will remain legible. That the proposed reconstruction and widening of the rear L will remain coplanar with the rear facade of the adjacent row house. That the design of the rooftop addition, widened rear facade, and infill addition featuring brick cladding and punch masonry openings will feature levels of articulation, material palette, and fenestration patterns that is consistent with rear facades found at other buildings of this type within the historic district. That the greenhouse at the base of the rear L will be typical of greenhouses at buildings of this type in this historic district in terms of material scale and will not eliminate the presence of the rear yard. And that the proposed work will not detract from the special character of the building or the Upper West Side Central Park West Historic District. However, I find that the cornice of the reconstructed and widened rear L does not match the details of the historic brick cornice. Therefore, I recommend that the applicant refine the cornice details in conjunction with staff.
Thank you. And Commissioner Mayen, would you second that motion?
Second.
Thank you. And Mark, will you call the vote?
Vice Chair Master,
Aye.
Commissioner Chen, you'll abstain.
I will abstain because I was out on the room.
Mr. Chu. Mr. Ginsburg,
Aye.
Commissioner Cole. Quimby,
Aye.
Aye. Mayan,
Aye.
Commissioner Wilder. With 8 in favor, none opposed, and 1 abstaining, the motion passes.
That's been approved with modifications. Please continue to work with staff. Let's move to the next item.
Next item is public hearing item number 4, LPC 26-04716, an application for a certificate of appropriateness in the Borough of Manhattan, Block 1889, Lot 9, 323 West 100th Street, in the Riverside West End Historic District Extension 2. This is a Renaissance Revival style row house designed by Janes and Leo and built in 1900 to 1901. The application is to modify a window opening.
Hi, everyone. Thanks for having me here today. My name is Hannah Kamai. I am the owner and developer of 323 West 100th Street. As mentioned already, the application is to widen a modified window at the top floor of the row house's rear facade. Okay, so these are some images from the front of the building, the location in the historic district, and the application focus here. So the intention is to convert the existing opening into a wider sliding door opening. This is my version of a mock-up. It's not as polished as the previous application, but please excuse my artistic license that was taken here. So as originally built, the rear L was 4 stories with the top floor of the row house at the 5th floor aligned with the main plane, of the rear facade. The historic district was designated in 2015, at which point modifications and additions to the row house rear facades within the same block, interior donut, had already occurred. And I have some examples of this to share with you today. So we have the building itself in question highlighted in yellow. The row houses alongside are also designed by James and Leo. And I'll take you through a few of these in detail. So the immediately adjacent neighboring building at 325 West 100th Street, immediately to the west, had built a full width addition over this rear L, which is partially visible from a gap on West 101 101st Street. A similar situation occurred at 317 West 100th Street, also within the James and Leo row house row. The northern row houses at 101st Street have had window modifications at their top floors as indicated here, and here as well as additions over the L. This is a summary and overview of various images that we submitted to the LPC to show that the proposed modification is not visible from any street, any public thoroughfare. Neither is it visible from the rear yard itself of the building. This is a view of our neighboring property from 101st Street. So the addition on their rear L on the 5th floor is partially visible from that street, but as you can see, the property in question is not visible at all from the rear. This is a close-up just to give some more clarity. And then this is the view from the garden of our property itself, looking up. These are views of our neighboring properties, again, from the garden perspective, where you can see some of the other additions on the block on 101st Street, as highlighted in one of the earlier images. And I think that's it. Yeah. Happy to answer any questions you may have.
Thank you. Commissioners, do we have any questions? Okay, let's see if there's anybody in the room who would like to speak on this item. Noting that there isn't, let me turn it over to Elizabeth Lee to see if we have any remote testimony.
Those joining via Zoom who wish to speak, please use the raise hand function. You'll be promoted to panelist, after which we ask you to unmute, state your name for the record, and you'll have 3 minutes to speak. The first speaker will be Megan Fitzpatrick.
Hello, Commissioners. Megan Fitzpatrick speaking on behalf of Landmark West. Our Certificate of Appropriateness Committee finds the application to modify the top floor window opening in an effort to allow more light and air to be appropriate. Our committee did, however, note that this invites roof occupancy, and we urge the appropriate care be given to the roof membrane to avoid water infiltration to the landmark and for necessary safety measures for future users. Thank you.
Anyone else who wishes to speak, please use the raise hand function. Seeing none, I'll note for the record that Manhattan Community Board 7 recommends approval.
Thank you. Did you want to say anything about the comments?
Yeah, we have a plan in place to support structurally that terrace that Megan referenced for structural support. And of course, we'll be finishing the membrane accordingly on top. Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you. Commissioners, any final questions? Okay, let's go ahead and close the hearing. Commissioner Chen, would you make a motion to close the hearing?
So move.
Thank you. Commissioner Goldblum, would you second that? Thanks. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, the hearing is closed. Commissioner Ikumbe, would you like to start this discussion?
Sure. Overall, I find what's being proposed to be appropriate. The applicant has shown some precedent. And also, yeah, there's really not much to really speak about, and it's not viewable from any thoroughfare, so I believe it's appropriate.
Thank you. Commissioner Wilder? Oh, okay. Commissioner Ginsburg?
Appropriate.
Commissioner Mayen?
Appropriate, concurred.
Commissioner Chen?
I concur.
Commissioner Goldblum? Commissioner Jefferson? Commissioner Chu?
Appropriate.
Commissioner Kimbe, would you like to read the motion?
Yes, in the matter of LPC 26-04716, 32-3 West 100th Street, Riverside, West End Historic District Extension 2, a Renaissance Revival style row house designed by Janes and Leo and built in 1900 to 1901. This application is to modify a window opening. I know that the building style, scale, materials, and details are among the features that contribute to the special architectural and historic character of Riverside, West End Historic District Extension 2. I recommend approval, finding that the proposed work will not damage or eliminate any significant architectural features, that the enlarged window opening at the top floor of the rear facade will not be visible from any public thoroughfare, that the house is part of a row house of paired houses, and the upper floors of the rear facades throughout this block have a number of altered conditions, including the house's twin at number 323, which has been expanded by a full height addition. Therefore, the work will not disrupt a unified pattern of openings within the row, and that the work will not detract from the special architectural historic character of the building or the historic district.
Thank you. Commissioner Chu, would you second that?
Second.
Thank you. And Mark, will you call the vote? Aye.
Commissioner Chen,
Aye.
Commissioner Chu,
Aye.
Aye.
Vogel, Brumby,
Aye.
Jefferson.
Aye.
Mann,
Aye.
Wilder, you'll abstain.
Abstain. Yep.
8 in favor, none opposed, and 1 abstention. The motion passes.
That's been approved. Okay, let's move to the next item.
Right, next and last item of the day is public hearing item number 5, LPC 26-05841, an application for a certificate of appropriateness in the Borough of Manhattan, Block 1522, Lot 1, 1185 Park Avenue in the expanded Carnegie Hill Historic District. This is a neo-Gothic style apartment house designed by Schwartz and Gross and built in 1928 to 29. And the application is to modify and create masonry openings, install windows, and install louvers.
Okay, Commissioners, the applicants have entered via Zoom. Doug, you now have control of the presentation. You just need to click on your screen, and then you can advance the slides using your arrow keys. Please state your name for the record, and you may begin.
Yeah, I don't seem to be able to advance the slides.
You can try using your mouse.
Okay, got it. Thank you. Good afternoon, Commissioners. My name is Doug Simpson. I'm with Panorama Windows. Joining me virtually also is Julia Fishman, the project architect. Our application today is for a combination of 2 existing commercial spaces at 1185 Park Avenue, the conversion to a single residential space. 1185 Park Avenue is located in the expanded Carnegie Hill Historic District on the east side of Park Avenue between 93rd and 94th Street, extending about halfway down the block on each of 93rd and 94th Street. There are 3 components to our application today, 2 openings affected on 94th Street, and then the 3rd opening on the building's interior courtyard facade. The 27 windows in the remainder of the apartment have already been approved by Landmarks to be in accordance with the building's master plan. The 2 openings on East 94th Street, numbered 5 there is an existing 1/1 window, which we are applying to put in a full width and full height louver with an applied exterior muntin grid in an 8/8 configuration to match the adjacent window. In opening number 10, it's to convert an existing door opening to a 6/6 double hung window, again to match a master plan approved type window. And the 3rd component is on the building's interior courtyard on a return wall in the northwest corner of the courtyard where there is currently brick. And we're proposing to do an identically sized window to another master plan or opening, I should say, to a master plan approved 8/8 window, but it'll be a full width, full height louver with the applied grid. There are a couple of shots here of the interior courtyard and a couple of photographs showing the 2 94th Street openings that are in question. And again, the interior courtyard. There is a rendering here of the existing to proposed of the 294th Street windows. And I just want to show a couple more photographs of the courtyard to put it in context for its location in the courtyard. Again, the northwest corner, the opening in question is located on a return wall, as you can see in the third slide. I've also included here, an elevation of the existing 1/1 with the opening converted to a full width, full height louver with applied grid. I want to point out there's a vertical section detail showing the applied grid, a horizontal detail showing the applied grid. And then this shot, which is a precedent on the 94th Street facade that has been approved by Landmarks for another full width and full height louver and apartment 14L. Sorry. The elevation of the existing door being converted to a 6/6 double hung window. Again, we have vertical section throughs of the existing and proposed. Then a horizontal section through of the existing and proposed. And then we move to the last component, the brick opening on the return wall on the building's courtyard. Nothing there now, and the proposed full width, full height louver, with a an 8/8 Muntin grid. And again, I will mention this is a size that pre-exists in the building for a master plan approved opening. Vertical section through and a horizontal section through. Oops. And the last slide just shows a opening on the building's southwest corner on a similar return wall that had cut a new masonry opening for louvers and was previously approved by Landmarks. And that is concludes the presentation. I'm happy to answer any questions.
Thank you. Commissioners, do we have any questions? Okay, noting that there isn't anybody in the room to speak on this item, I'm going to turn it over to Elizabeth Lee to see if we have any remote testimony.
Those joining via Zoom who wish to speak, please use the raise hand function. You'll be promoted to panelist, after which we ask you to unmute, state your name for the record, and you'll have 3 minutes to speak. The first speaker will be Zainab Turan.
Good afternoon, Commissioners. My name is Zainab Turan, and I'm speaking on behalf of Friends of the Upper East Side. Friends Preservation Committee finds that the proposed changes to the 94th Street facade are highly visible and inappropriate. The proposed conversion of an existing door into a window disrupts the established fenestration pattern of the building, as it interrupts a continuous vertical alignment of narrow window openings that define this bay above the existing door. In addition, the introduction of louvered openings at the ground floor is not appropriate within the historic context of the facade. The committee also objects to the removal of historic fabric on the courtyard's blank sidewall and to the creation of new punched opening within existing masonry to accommodate louvers. These concerns are compounded by the proposed installation of heat exhaust equipment behind the louvers. For these reasons, the committee recommends denial. Thank you.
The next speaker will be Lo Vanderwalk.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Oh, thank you. My name is Lo Vandervalk, and I'm representing Carnegie Hill Neighbors. The application has 3 items. Item 1 is converting the 94th Street doctor's entrance to a window. CHN approves. We consider it appropriate. Item 2 is converting a window facing 94th Street to a louver. CHN disapproves as inappropriate, and I will comment shortly. Item 3, creating a new louver opening on a wall facing west in a recess at the west area of the inner courtyard. It will be barely visible from the rest of the inner courtyard. CHN approves. We consider it appropriate. I would like to elaborate on item 2. The louver replacing the window will create, replacing the window on 94th Street, 5 windows east of the door that's being replaced, will create a highly visible dark space that differentiates from the residential window pairs on the line above it. This will detract from the impressive Venetian Renaissance apartment building. We hope that alternatives to this conversion of the window will be considered, such as connecting with the central heating cooling system of the building, or radical perhaps, making a connection with the basement windows just 1 story below. There may be other alternatives available as well. Thank you so much for your consideration.
Anyone else who wishes to speak, please use the raise hand function. Seeing none, I'll note for the record that Manhattan Community Board 8 recommends denial.
Thank you. Would the applicant like to respond to the comments?
Yes.
Yeah, go, Julie.
Hi, Doug, do you mind going to the 94th Street facade photos? I just want to point out that we're also removing.
Excuse me, miss, can you state your name for the record?
Oh,
please?
hi, sorry. I'm Julia Fishman. I'm the project architect. I just wanted to point out on the 94th Street facade, we're also removing an existing louver that's currently serving as the HVAC for the unit, which is closer to Park Avenue. It's in the far right of that photo, and we're doing a 1-to-1 replacement with the new louver further away from Park Avenue and further above the street. We need to use some window opening along here in order to provide HVAC for the unit, and we found this to be a more benign location than the existing.
Thank you. Okay, commissioners, did we have any other questions? Okay, let's go ahead and close the hearing. Commissioner Chu, would you make a motion to close the hearing? Thank you. Commissioner Jefferson, would you second that? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, the hearing is closed. Commissioner Wilder, would you like to start this discussion?
Sure. So the 3 items for this application are converting 1 window to louver and creating an opening to add louvers and converting 1 door opening to a window opening with the same width. So I guess I'll start with the door. I think because of the proposed window occupying the same width opening, and you're just infilling the lower portion of the door, I can find it appropriate as long as the new materials, the infill materials, are matching the existing building. The other opening on this facade, the window, it's going to be louvers. It appears that there's already areas on this facade that has louvers and similar openings. So for that reason, I don't think it'll take away from the facade because it's already there in some locations, so I can find that appropriate. And as well as the new opening at the courtyard, I think it is, if it was going to be located anywhere, this is probably the best location. It's hidden from most views up in the courtyard, and it's modest in size and scale, so overall I can find it appropriate as well.
Thank you. Commissioner Ginsburg?
I can find this appropriate and agree
Thank you.
with fellow commissioners.
Thank you. Commissioner Mayan?
I concur.
Thank you. Commissioner Chen?
Same here.
Commissioner Goldblum, Commissioner Jefferson, Commissioner Chu, and Commissioner Kumbay. Thank you. Commissioner Wilder, would you like to read the motion?
Sure. Matter of LPC dash 26-05841, 1185 Park Avenue, expanded Carnegie Hill Historic District, a neo-Gothic style apartment house designed by Swartz and Gross and built in 1928-29. Application is to modify and create masonry openings and install louvers. I note that the building's style, scale, materials, and details are among the features that contribute to the special architectural and historic character of the expanded Carnegie Hill Historic District. I find that the work will not damage or eliminate any significant architectural features, that the proposed conversion of a door to a window at the first floor at the primary facade will match the height and details of the adjacent original window and will support a unified fenestration pattern at the base of the building, and the remainder of the opening below will be filled in with new masonry to match the surrounding conditions, that the large scale of this building can support the presence of full window louvers, and the proposed louvers at the first floor will be installed behind a multi-light Muntin grid conforming to the material, configuration, finish, and details of the commission-approved master plan for windows at this building, that the window at the courtyard facade will not be visible from any public thoroughfare, that the new masonry opening for a louver at the courtyard facade will require the removal of only a limited amount of plain masonry, will not alter the solid to void ratio of the facade, and will match the height of the existing window openings on adjacent facades, and that the work will not detract from the special architectural and historic character of the building or the expanded Carnegie Hill Historic District.
Thank you. Commissioner Kumbay, would you second that motion?
Second.
Thank you. Mark, will you call the vote?
Vice Chair Master,
Aye.
Chen,
Aye.
Aye. Ginsburg.
Aye.
Quimby,
Aye.
Jefferson.
Aye.
Commissioner Mann,
Aye.
Commissioner Wilder.
Aye.
9 in favor, none opposed, the motion passes.
Okay, that's been approved. Okay, so that concludes the public hearing and public meeting for February 10th, 2026. Thank you all for your participation, and we will see everyone on Tuesday, February 24th for our next public hearing and public meeting.